Welcome to the Friends of Israel's Jew and Gentile podcast. I am your host, Chris Katolka, and with me is none other than the Jewish sage himself, the one, the only Mr. Steve Herzig. How are you, sir?
Today I'm into pins.
You're in the pins?
Pins. P-I-N-S. Look at that, a flag of Israel and a flag of the United States, and they're sitting on our desk. And for the first 40 people who let us know they want one, we'll send it to them.
That's right. We will. How do they know? How can they get our attention?
They have to text us at 424
444
1948. Chris, a couple weeks ago, I was in Ohio, and I said 424-444-1948, and I said, does anybody pick up the rhythm of 424-444-1948? And they yelled out, 1948 Israel. I said, that's right.
That's exactly right.
But I didn't bring pins. I should have brought them pins.
I got to know right now, what does the highball have to say about this particular show that we're doing here?
You got to know. Okay, let's go. We're going with the highball, and it says, by you, not so much.
Now, see, this is why I wanted to do this. See, God is in the highball here, because last week, Lynn, she gave us these amazing mug rugs.
Mug rugs, put our mug on a rug, and I have a snack in my little stash.
That's right, and your little thing right there with the Israel. Okay, this is amazing, and you know what? We asked the highball. We've asked the highball a billion times, and it came back with a positive response. Now, the whole point of the highball is that it kind of gives you that, like, Jewish response.
By you, not so much.
Feh, that kind of thing. But last week, it was optimistic. It was like almost like this is going to be a great show, which we gave credit to Lynn for that one. But this week, back to normal.
That's right. We're all back to normal. But at 424-444-1948, they contact us and say, I want a pin. They got to give us their address, and somehow we'll mail it to them.
Well, I'll send them a link, and then they're going to give us all the information, bada bing, bada boom. We'll get them a pin as fast as we can. Steve, we've got people, we've only got 7 listeners, but we got a lot of people who are interested in the stickers. And so we've been handing out stickers. Remember, we're not Amazon here, so we can't turn this thing around in one night, but we're working overtime.
Yeah, people get ornery. They get They do. I mean, I want people to text in, and I want to get it to them.
I want you. I should have you linked into the text so that you can. I would love to see you respond.
I don't know what's going on, Chris. I have no idea. I come here to the podcast room, and that's when I find out stuff.
That's not true. We are communicating all the time.
That's true, but we never say anything.
Honestly, it is true. It's just a lot of hot air. All right, Leviticus chapter 23. Passover has already happened, April 12th.
We're in the middle of unleavened bread.
We're in the middle of unleavened bread.
The sandwiches. I could tell you about my matzah sandwiches when I was in elementary school, taking them to school. My mother put kosher bologna, and 2 pieces of matzah. And what did I have by lunchtime? 2 pieces of matzah, 2 bolognas with mustard and crumbs.
And then crumbs, that's right.
Well, what a life.
I get the kids, I like to make their lunches in the morning, and I've been buying these
Lunchables?
No, they're not Lunchables. It's instead of getting them like Doritos and chips, I get them they're called like Pop Chips. Pop Chips are like puffy like chips, but they're healthier because they're not full of grease and all that.
That's what they're telling you.
It's true. We'll see what RFK has to say about it, okay?
He's not going to be too happy.
Robert F. Kennedy has to say about it. But all that to say, I like eating them because they're not that high in calorie. They're light, easy to go.
That's what they tell you.
But I will tell you, sometimes the bags come back. The kids don't eat them. My boys don't eat them, which I understand. I pack them with a lot of food. It's not because they don't like them. They just don't eat them. But they come back, Steve, and they were once beautiful bags with nice full chips in them. They come back. I open it up. The things are dust, nothing. I mean, they cram them in there. It's hilarious.
Once they're put in the backpack, you're on your own.
I tell them, you're shoving it in your backpack. There's food in there. There's a yogurt in there. No, I don't care. Shove it in there. So, and then I go like this, what you would say, Zeigazun. Yep. You know what? It's on you.
They give you nothing but tsuris.
I love their tsuris, though. It's a crazy tsuris, but I love it. But speaking of tsuris, God kind of has to make the Jewish people go through a little tsuris during Passover.
A lot of tsuris. Not a little. 430 years of tsuris.
That's right. And then you come out, and then you have to do 7 days of tsuris because you can't eat any regular bread. Steve, I think I have mentioned this on the podcast in the past. Passover and unleavened bread are connected together.
Immediately after. That's what the text says. So it's first day's Passover, and immediately. It's so intertwined that if you asked an average Jewish person, me included, until I started to read more precisely, I would say all 8 days are called Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even think of unleavened bread, but they are two distinct holy convocations.
And if you actually go to the New Testament, I think it's Luke 22, it actually mentions the unleavened bread, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but it's actually talking about Passover and unleavened bread. It's lumping the entire festival, both of them together under one umbrella.
Which is understandable because they just run consecutively.
That's right. But they are two separate events that take place. Passover and then the 7 days of you continuing to eat unleavened bread. And so that's kind of some tsuris because, you're taking away, like you said, you're a young boy, your mom makes you a nice sandwich every day with your Wonder Bread, and now all of a sudden you got bupkis. You've got, crackers.
But my mother solved the problem. She made biscuits with no leaven. I called them air biscuits because you open those babies up. There was like nothing. There was a biscuit.
Right?
You cut it open. There's hardly any insides. It's like all air.
Was it rock solid or
no,
what?
No, it was very soft. But literally, it's like picture the moon, cutting the moon in. You open it up and it's
just
empty.
rock. Yeah,
it's just air. So it's kind of like a half moon that no material, no leaven, no nut. It's air, and it's just got a crust on it. And so you cut it open, you got a crust on one side, a crust on another, and you put whatever in, and you put it on top, and it's like biting into air.
Well, I have this article. I got to dig it up here really quick because I want to make sure I say it right. Because there's a Christian Arab man who purchases.
He's the guy that purchased. He's the goy, the designated goy to sell all the leaven that you might have so that you could tell God I don't own it.
That's exactly right. Okay, so here I found it. This comes from the Times of Israel, and this is a 2018 piece. But meet the Arab Israeli who buys all of Israel's chametz. Hussein Jabbar can afford a down payment for the nation's leavened goods every Passover, but somehow never manages to scrape together the whole price. Each year, Israel is confronted with a problem ahead of Passover. What to do with the state's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of leavened goods. Jews cannot possess the products, called chametz, during the festival, according to Jewish law. Enter Hussein Jabbar. On Thursday, this is in 2018, the 57-year-old Arab Israeli hotelier from Abu Ghosh, outside of Jerusalem, will meet with the Sephardic rabbi of Israel, Yitzhak Yosef, Ashkenazi chief rabbi David Lau, and finance minister Moshe Cologne to buy all of the chametz. Jabbar will make a down payment to the chief rabbinate and will own the chametz for the duration of the holiday until he is required to pay the full amount stipulated in the contract after Passover. If he fails to come up with the full amount, ownership will revert to the state and he will get his down payment back. It is legal fiction practiced the world over for centuries, allowing Jews to avoid having to destroy all of the chametz in their home. Needless to say, in 20 years, Jabbar has not managed to fulfill the contract.
I wonder if they give him a little pekala, for doing that service. You got to get something out of the deal.
Well, it says at 12 on Thursday, this is Jabbar speaking. He says, at 12 on Thursday, I'm meeting the chief rabbinate. There is a contract saying what I need to pay for the advance. It's shekels, $50,000, 50,000 shekels, which is $14,000. And by the end of Passover, according to the contract, I need to add $300 million. Jabbar told the Times of Israel, I buy it from the police, the army, every place in Israel. So really, think about all the government buildings that are, public, like schools and, like you said, police, prisons, the army, all these places that have regular bread in it. and the government buys that bread, but now the government is liable to unload that bread according to the law for unleavened bread. So Jabbar steps in, bada bing, bada boom, makes a little contract. They don't own it. It's his. He's got to pay it by the end of Passover, but guess what? He never pays it. So the contract dissolves and all the bread goes back to Israel.
Well, on an individual basis, the very Orthodox find a friend, a Gentile friend, and they say, please buy, even after they've cleaned all their chametz from their house, they are worried because this is a biblical principle, Chris, just a little bit of chametz spoils the whole thing. That's why my mother put aluminum foil in the bread box, the refrigerator, the oven. She cleaned it all out. But what if there was just a little bit? And so
she always left it in there? The aluminum foil?
No. She only put it, all the aluminum foil everywhere after she cleaned for spring cleaning for Passover. And that way, if there was any chametz, the aluminum foil was over it, and so it was kosher. But the very Orthodox sell it. They go to their Gentile friend. They say, look, you want to make a little money on the side? Buy my chametz. So you any chametz that might be there, you'll own. Then you give me back the check later, and I'll shtup you a little bit of money later.
Is that what they do?
Yeah. Same thing. This is for the nation, but individuals do it for their individual household.
That is amazing. He receives the keys to relevant properties. That's amazing. And a list detailing his vast acquisition, which includes the chametz of the state-owned companies, the prison service, the national emergency supply. Despite his less than illustrious track record of fulfilling the payment, the work is deadly serious.
You mean he doesn't have a spare $300 million?
That's all right. He says, I'll get the money, he said. Why would it be funny? We have signed the contract. It's a serious challenge.
I wonder what happened if he went somewhere and said, look, we can do it. Give me $300 million and we'll own all the chametz in Israel.
He buys it all.
Buys it all.
That is amazing. Yeah, so we're talking all about Leviticus chapter 23 here. Passover's already passed. And so now we're in the middle of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And actually, as Steve and I were saying, these kind of get lumped together. And it says in verse 4, these are the appointed festivals of Leviticus chapter 23, the sacred assemblies you are to proclaim at the appointed times. The Lord's Pesach, Passover, will begin at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. On the 15th day of that month, the Lord's festival of unleavened bread begins. For 7 days you are to eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, holding a sacred assembly, and do no regular work. For 7 days, present a food offering to the Lord, and on the seventh day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Steve, I was reading an article once on unleavened bread, and it's very interesting because they kind of look at it from a scientific perspective, and they were saying that when you kill a starter, a bread starter, the yeast, it can take, several days for the starter to come back again. And so,
how do you kill a starter?
It dies off eventually. That's what I've heard. In fact, a friend of mine was telling me,
you kill a starter. I never heard that before.
Yeah, you can. Your bread starter. In fact, there is a business in Europe called the bread starter hotel. So if you have because some people have their starter that goes back years. It keeps.
Oh, I've heard of that. But now we have a starter hotel?
Yeah, now I'm looking this up right now.
Starter hotel.
Yes.
Bring in a nice little blanket. Bring your little starter to us.
That's right. Sourdough hotel. Okay. If your starter needs more intensive care, they offer the training. But let's say you're going away.
Sounds like a Muppet movie.
Here, step inside this bread dough hotel in Sweden. And so what happens is you can leave your bread starter, your sourdough starter behind. So here's the Smithsonian Magazine. Sweden's sourdough hotel starter. Getting a good sourdough starter is tons of work, and if you leave it unloved for too long, all that work can go to waste. Now Sweden's sourdough hotels will care for your traveler's bread's dough while they go traveling. And so it says sourdough bread has been around since Egypt, ancient Egypt, but in recent years, the tangy, crusty bread has had a bit of a comeback in bakeries and home kitchens around the world. But the point that I'm trying to make is that, if God says you can't eat the bread, so the starter could die when he's telling the Israelites to leave. So they're saying there's almost a little scientific thing. Why is it 7 days? Well, it takes 7 days for that starter to come back again. And so that's why after 7 days, Your bread's ready to go.
I could see it now in Sweden. They have to drop the dog off, for they're going on vacation. Did you take the dog? Yeah, I did. What about the starter? What, did you drop the starter off at the hotel? Oh, yeah, I forgot to drop off the starter.
That's right. And then it dies.
I'm in pretty big trouble.
That's right. Who, the dog or the starter? That's the question.
I don't know.
Dennis Prager always asked this great philosophical question when I would listen to him in the past. And the question was, if two people are, let's say a boat is going down, okay? And there's a person and a dog. It's your dog, okay, and then another person. Who do you save? You can only save one of them. Your dog or the person? And people call in, and it's amazing.
They want to save the dog.
The dog. Forget the person. My dog. I have to save my, so now is it the dog or the sourdough starter?
I don't know.
All right, Steve. So we're in Unleavened Bread, and we found from this article here in Israel 21C, which is a great website to go to, Israel 21st Century.
This is recipes for Passover.
That's right.
Recipes for unleavened bread. The whole 8 days. You need different kinds of food. After all, the Jewish people hated the manna every day. We're sick of the manna every day, God. You're bringing us the manna. I could tell you in 8 days, I could testify that I would say, I just don't want any more air muffins. I don't want any more matzah. I've had enough. But if you could vary it up a little bit, fix it up a little bit, that's why we have these recipes.
That's right. So the one here is chocolate toffee matzah crunch.
Just saying that is hilarious. There's got to be people listening. What? Chocolate toffee, that's good.
You can make
matzah, not so good. Crunch. Ay, ay, ay.
You can make a whole cake with your matzah.
And they got a picture. Is that the picture of it? Or is that the matzah brie?
No, this is matzah brie.
Yeah, the matzah. Oh, that's a topic of another discussion.
Yeah. So this first one though is a chocolate toffee matzah, and it says you can make your whole cake with your matzah, and it takes a minimal amount of ingredients and labor. Make toffee from scratch. What that sounds like work. Make toffee from scratch or buy it prepared. Melt some chocolate and pour it over the matzah pieces. Bake it, cool it, and voila.
They want you so tired that you'll think it tastes good.
That's right. Can I buy this at the store? What's going on? You've got yourself a sweet Passover. All right, so that's chocolate toffee matzah crunch. All right, Steve, another one is matzah brie. You want to talk about matzah brie?
Matzah brie is interesting. You have to soak the matzah in water for a long, it gets mushy. And then you put eggs with it and you combine it. Sometimes you use onions or other things. But Chris, my wife from a Gentile background loves the Jewish people, always loved them, raised in a home that loved the Jewish people. But she hung around Yale, and met Yale Jewish people. She didn't meet one like me. But I've been able to teach her that if you're Jewish, you probably have stomach problems. We invented IBS. It's our disease. Anything related to gastronomical problems, it's from the Jewish people. And one of the contributors to that is matzah brie. I've had it. I haven't had it in quite a while. But matzah brie is, the consistency is such, it's like cement in your gut.
Ay, ay, ay.
It tastes good going down, but I can't guarantee anything else after that. So
it's like a clump.
Matzah brie is good. Again, it's a tasty thing. It's a way to get through Passover, but I got to say it's... well, let's just leave it at what I said. Cement.
That's right. So this is a nice way. Now, you sound like the highball, but see, this website makes it sound amazing.
Let's hear what it says.
Well, because actually, Kim Kardashian, of all people, recently caught the eye of matzah lovers when she posted on her... I guess on social media, on something, of herself eating matzah brie on her Instagram stories. Traditional matzah brie is made of softening matzah in water or milk, mixing it with beaten eggs, and then frying it in a pan.
That's right. That's right.
You can, of course, jazz it up by adding cheese, vegetables, spices, and other various
Let me just say,
not.
We didn't see Kim after she ate it.
Yeah. That's right.
That's all I can tell you.
We got to count how many stories it was between her eating the brie and then her returning for another story.
There you go. There you go.
All right, the next one, Steve, is matzah balls.
Now, that's one of my favorite things. Honestly, I eat matzah balls all year long.
Yeah, you like to go to a place near your house called Moishinitzi's.
Moishinitzi's. Alice and I go there. I take out for chicken soup. In fact, during my travels, Chris, a lot of times I will drive home and get home late. So you're speaking at a church. I want to come home. It could be several hour drive. So I'll call her, and I'm on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, couple 100 miles away, and I'll say, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's good. When are you coming home? And I give her my ETA based on the little lady who talks to me with the GPS. And so she says, guess what? What? I got matzo ball soup. I said, that's all I need to know. I am focused. I am ready to go, and I'm dreaming of my matzo ball soup. Fantastic.
I love it. All right, this one got my attention when I saw it, Steve. This one is matzah lasagna. Right here, matzah lasagna. For this one, instead of pasta, use matzah sheets, layer them with tomato sauce, cheeses of your choice, as well as spice and herbs. You know, last week we featured...
I'm sorry, Chris. This sounds awful.
Last week we had Sebastian Maniscalco, the Italian comedian, on complaining about the Passover meal. Well,
passing out pamphlets.
This is passing out pamphlets. Well, sounds like a perfect combination of an Italian and a Jewish wedding here.
It
matzah
sounds
lasagna.
like Meshuggah. Meshuggah matzah lasagna.
That's right. All right, I thought there were 5 on here. Oh wait, maybe there are more here. Maybe I'm missing something.
I got bupkis. I got blank pages, Chris.
It says 5, doesn't it? 5 tasty ones. So far, we've talked about the chocolate toffee matzah crunch. Then Steve, we missed this one here, and we did the matzah balls. We did the matzah brie,
matzah balls.
This one, matzah pizza, Steve. Matzah pizza.
Matzah pizza.
That's right. Matzah pizza. Another way to repurpose your matzah is to make delicious pizza out of it. This is especially great if you're short on time. Put some tomato sauce, blah, blah, blah. There you go. Matzah ball.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not into any of that.
Steve, I want to save this one for next week, okay? I think this will be a great topic for next week for us to talk about.
Gotcha.
And so we'll come back to that one later. But, Steve, as we're talking about unleavened bread, the point is that, you know, all this fun stuff, and Jewish people, you get actually very innovative. When you know, like you said, it says don't eat any leavened bread. It kind of puts you in a bind. No pun intended, okay?
It does put you in a bind.
Puts you in a bind.
Now you're talking Jewish here.
That's right. But the reality is that this is where you do create amazing things. And one of it's a flip side where matzah ball soup and matzah lasagna and matzah pizza, and matzah brie are focused on the matzah, but matzah's used in another thing, Steve, that I want to show.
Chris, as you're doing, you got to go to YouTube and do the matzah song, Matzah Man.
I'll do that one.
We gotta play it for our listeners.
Right. Well, for our for the people who are on our who are watching on YouTube right now, I shared with Steve this hilarious picture that I saw on Facebook.
And of course, I'm a little slow and didn't get it. My wife got it right away. I couldn't figure out what that was.
Yeah, so this man, it's a picture of a guy who's been fishing, okay? And so he's holding up what he's holding is kind of like what weighs the fish when you get done.
Looks like a giant sponge.
Well, that's the thing. So what's on it, though, I picked it up right away because he's a fisherman. And what's he doing? He's measuring a big gefilte fish.
I don't think that way. You see that? That's right. It's a giant gefilte fish.
He's holding a big gefilte fish, which I think is hilarious, okay? But did you know gefilte fish, you know what gefilte fish is made of?
I do.
It's made of white fish.
It's usually from the tails or from the top of the fish near the eyeballs. They scraped the fish, the meat, because it was poor man's Sabbath food. That's really what it was. The end of the week would come, or it could be the holiday, and the very poor Jewish family living in Anatevka, they want to have the best food they can get, but they can't afford a lot. So they go to the fishmonger. He has all these fish scales and things that he's thrown to the side, and they scrape all the meat from it. It's like a hamburger fish. It's like taking from whatever white fish you have or the various kinds of fish, mushing it together, putting it in water, and voila, gefilte fish. But now, Chris, if you want to buy gefilte fish, which most people don't want to do, I love gefilte fish.
Especially with horseradish.
Yeah, it's really good. Mm-hmm. I like it. But here at Friends of Israel, we had a white elephant exchange, and I brought a gefilte fish, can of gefilte fish. Nobody wanted it.
And you gladly took it back.
So you went through the whole thing. You get to trade and all the stuff you do at White Elephant Exchange. And then it's time to go home. And the person who had the gefilte fish said, I don't want this. I said, bada bing, bada boom.
I'll take it.
I got it. I brought it. I got somebody else's gift, and I got the gefilte fish.
Well, I'll tell you, the other component of gefilte fish is matzah meal. So you mix the white fish with the matzah and other things as onion and all that, and you cram it together. It's basically a matzah ball, but made with fish as well. And that's what makes it so good. So it's not technically a matzah ball or matzah pizza, but it is kind of the equivalent of what you can eat.
You will have gefilte fish on Passover
and Feast of Unleavened Bread.
But you got to go find matzah man.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Find matzah man, because that is one of the funniest videos for Passover I think I ever saw, and we got to play it for our listeners.
How did you find this?
I can't remember. It's been out a long time, and now we're at Passover. I'm really glad I remembered it, because it's something there it is, number one, right up there.
All right, good. So let me get it up and going here. You prep it. You get everybody set up on what they're about to listen to.
The song, what were they called?
Macho Man.
That's right. But it was done by those guys with the various construction workers.
Oh yeah, the YMCA guys.
That's the group that did Macho Man, but this is Matzah Man.
Okay, this is Matzah Man from Steve Herzig. Here we go. Jewish guy walking out.
He's closing his shop, and but he's leaving his Jewish shop.
Kornblatz matzah.
And now they're coming to life.
Matzahs. How many listeners do we have?
None right now.
The chosen people.
Every year I want to be a matzah man. Eat the kind of food that the rabbi says we can. Serve it for the Seder. It's a feast. Doesn't have much flavor and no yeast. Matzah balls are heavy, so better eat them slow. And they're sort of binding, won't let my people go. Hey, hey, oi, oi, hey. Matzah man, yeah. I've got to be a matzah man. I gotta be a matzah man, yeah. I've got to eat a matzah.
Who do you show this to?
I've shown it to everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody. Well, I haven't showed it this year, but I've showed it to just about
you're
everybody.
showing it to 7 people right now.
That's right.
So I love this.
Keep it going. It's not that much longer.
Are you getting back in the box?
Now, isn't that worth it?
That was
It
fantastic.
covers everything. We really could have shown that and ended our podcast.
I know. This 30-minute podcast could have been wrapped up in 1:30 with because it talked about binding, it talked about God, it talked about
the rabbis approve it.
Rabbis gave it a thumbs up.
That's right. Everything's kosher.
Well, Steve, really quick, I know we're having a lot of fun here. Listen, if you want some free stickers that show love and support to Israel and
Tell
the Jewish
them why
people.
we want them to have stickers. There might be one person who hasn't heard. What are they advertising these stickers for?
That's right. So the stickers are an opportunity for you to show what you value. Because we had a kid many, many months ago at Word of Life Bible Institute who came up to me and said, Chris, all the stickers on my guitar, which he had his whole guitar, populated with stickers. All these stickers represent something that I value. And he had 2 stickers on there. I love Israel and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And I told Steve, and Steve said, we got to start handing out stickers because that's a testimony. You're showing something that you value by putting this sticker on there. And thus far, we've given out probably more than 20,000 stickers around the world, we can say now.
Yep. Last week, Northern Ireland.
Thank you, Lynn. And she is putting stickers places and handing them out. And we've had people here in the United States and Canada putting stickers on their hard hats, on their coffee mugs, on the back of their phones.
Wait a minute, on their hard hats?
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about that?
No, of course you didn't. Hard hats. We have a listener who works outside with a hard hat?
He's got a hard hat. He's got his I Love
I'm
Israel.
always the last to know.
I feel like you're my Jewish mother right now.
You don't tell me anything. anything.
I love it. So this is a great way that if you want to show love and support for Israel and the Jewish people, and you want people to know it, that's the big thing. You can
It's
just
a conversation starter, isn't it?
100%. So you can text us at 424
444.
1948. And when you text us, I'm going to send you a link. I will send you the link, okay? Not some bot, not some whatever stranger, me. I will send you the link and you will fill out the information and we will get those stickers to you as soon as we possibly can. Again, that's 424
444.
1948. Oh,
But Chris, before you go on, we got to say that, yes, that will happen, but you had just gone a couple weeks ago to Word of Life, and you got so many of the kids who wanted these stickers. So we got a backlog. Alice is working overtime, sweating bullets here. But
it's like we ate too much matzah.
You'll be in a queue. You'll be in a queue. Don't worry, we'll get to you. But we're overflowing, and we're praising God for it.
That's exactly right. And so we want you to be sure to go text us at 424
444
1948. Hey, I got one more thing for you too. You know, we just wrapped up a series a FOI Equip class, our free classes that teach the Bible from a Jewish perspective. And we just had George Richfield on, and he's given his survivor's story. George Richfield is a Holocaust survivor. You can go on YouTube right now, and you can watch George Richfield's survivor's story. Great opportunity to do that. But hey, listen, next month, we've got a 3-week class coming up starting May 8th with none other than our good friend, Dr. Tommy Ice. And he's going to be teaching a class on a guide, Steve, a guide to the end of the world.
What a title. Tommy Ice. I just love that name. I remember the first Ice, Tommy Ice.
Yeah.
And when I'm telling you, he's stone cold when he talks about the Bible. I mean, he is as direct as can be. He's a great guy. But when it comes to prophecy, he cuts right to it.
That's right. He's the Iceman. He gets right to it.
He's the Iceman.
Well, the guide to the end of the world, Dr. Tommy Ice is going to be teaching about the Olivet Discourse, again, starting May 8th. You can go to FOI Equip right here for free, and you can register for that class. I hope that you do that. And then we're going to have none other than Dr. Michael Rydelnik, a professor at Moody Bible Institute, coming to talk about finding Messiah in unexpected places. You know, we've got our Finding Messiah in Christmas devotional. We've got our Finding Messiah in Passover devotional. You know, we believe that the Messiah, Jesus, is seen all throughout the scriptures. And so we want you to come to our Finding Messiah in Unexpected Places class, where you're going to be able to see about the arrival of the Messiah in the Hebrew scriptures, which actually pertain so many biblical prophecies about him. And so Dr. Michael Rydelnik from Moody Bible Institute is going to take us through 2 key passages that are often overlooked about these messianic prophecies. Again, Finding Messiah in Unexpected Places. That's June 5th. You can register for all those classes now by going to foiequip.org. Steve, what's amazing about Israel is that you can be walking around and you can kind of just stumble on things, you know.
All the time it happens. Never happens with me. Never happens with me. In fact, we're going to talk about, you and I have been to this place.
That's right.
We walked around, even sometimes looking. What do we get? Bupkis. What's it take? A 3-year-old girl.
That's right. You need faith like a child to make it happen, Steve. When you go in and you say bupkis all the time, what do we get? Nothing. This girl, faith like a child. Hey, but let me just say this really quick, and I mean it. When Israel wants to build something, I can't imagine having to be a developer in Israel, because the moment you put the shovel in the ground, oops, we found an ancient Israelite city. Oops, we found this Judite encampment. Oops, we found a new tell somewhere with all this archaeological finds. I think that there's a light rail system in Jerusalem that will take you from West Jerusalem right up to the old city. And I remember when they were building it, and I think it was a 3-year project. I think it took 10 years to do, because every time they would put a shovel to the ground, of course, it's right next to the old city of Jerusalem. They're finding things, and then archaeologists have to come in and dig it up and look at it, examine it, take pictures, cover it back up, and then they put the railroad over top of it. So all that is by law. That's the Israeli Antiquities Department that makes sure that all the antiquities are documented, looked at. So it just slows the process down a lot. It binds up the process. But here, a girl, Steve, stumbles upon something very interesting.
Well, she's in Bet Shemesh, Chris, and she's walking around, 3-year-old girl. She's become the latest person to accidentally, boy, me, I'm trying to find something, and I get bupkis. She's not even trying. And she stumbles around an artifact her name is Ziv Nitzan, who is 3.5, picked up a stone on a family trip near Bet Shemesh in March. And rubbing it clean, her family immediately understood that it was an important archaeological find and reported it to the Israel Antiquities Authority. It's a Canaanite scarab amulet dating back to the Bronze Age, making it 3,800 years old. The closest I ever got, Chris, I looked at something on the ground, looked at it. What was it? It was a Coke bottle top.
Yeah.
It looked old. It looked, and it was a Coke bottle.
When you were in Israel or just near your house?
In Israel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for everything. I didn't sift. I didn't do the sifting thing. So I'm looking. Oh, it was there a long time. But what do you?
Bupkis.
It's probably from the 1970s.
That's right. Exactly. Hey, maybe it's worth something. I don't know. Hey, scarabs were used in this period as seals and as amulets. They were found in graves in public buildings and private homes. Sometimes they bear symbols and messages that reflect religious beliefs or status. Judah Regional District archaeologist Simon Gendler worked with the IAA, the Israeli Antiquities Authority, and praised Ziv and her family for reporting the find and awarded her a certificate of appreciation for good citizenship.
Oh, man, they didn't even give her anything.
They should give her more than that.
They patted her on the head and said, here's a piece of paper.
I really want you to think about what just happened here, is that this girl stumbles over a priceless artifact. I mean, it's a priceless artifact. I mean, when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Bedouin boy that found the Dead Sea Scrolls, he gave them away, and then they started selling them. In fact, there were, I think it was it the Wall Street Journal here or the New York Times? They put classified ads saying buy ancient Hebrew scripts. Anybody could buy them. So it took Israel having to go around and buy up and get all these, Dead Sea Scrolls to come, because people know archaeology sells. Here's a kid that finds something ancient,
3,800 years old. Oh, nice,
Steve,
girl. Thank you.
Here's this. Hey, you know what? Here's a certificate. Congratulations.
Hey, at least I got a plaque saying I was a doctor when I wasn't even a doctor. They gave me a plaque.
The last time we were in Israel, they gave us a certificate for just coming.
That's right. And what does she get? Oh, thanks a lot. Here's a little thing. Frame it, and it's from us.
I hope they at least give her some recognition.
They ought to give her something.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, here's Steve and I complaining for the poor girl, and she probably doesn't.
And there's a picture of her. Look, she looks like, what's all this? What? That's a great picture. A typical 3-year-old. Everybody's gathered. They're smiling, and she's wondering, what? There she's holding her little paper that she got. It's nice in color, and she's looking and saying, what just happened?
Yeah, that archaeologist next to her is going, bada bing, bada boom, Thank you so much.
But that is a neat thing. And by the way, it is true that in Israel, there are a ton of amateur, but that's a compliment, not that they don't know what they're doing. There are a ton of amateur archaeologists who take archaeology very serious. And it would be neat that this little girl found something of value. That might be something for her life's future.
Yeah.
The thrill of finding something of such value and that could be used later in a museum. At 3 years old, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but it could also backfire. And here's what I'm thinking.
Oh, now you're thinking Jewish.
That's right. Here's what I'm thinking. I used to take my kids down to visit my in-laws in Florida, and my father-in-law would take my kids down to the dock to take them fishing. But he would prep the fish before my kids showed up, okay? And so he would bring them down, and there would be swarming fish because he would be feeding them the whole time, okay? So then he brings them down, and they drop a rod in, and boom. The moment the bread hits the hot dog hits the water, boom, a fish is on line.
What kind of fish did they catch?
They're little what do they call those, pinfish and things like that. That got a little bit bigger. And so, the moment that thing grabbed, boom, now you're reeling it in, and kids are excited, and we're told and taking pictures and this every single time. And I used to drive home think, if I ever take my kids fishing, I'm going to take them to a pond, and they're going to wait hours, and we're going to get bupkis. And you know what? It's because Pop has spoiled them. And it's like this girl, she's stumbling along in Bet Shemesh and kicks a 3,800-year-old amulet, and she's going to become an archaeologist and say, I don't know if I can do this. I kicked the dirt and I found something.
So you're thinking glass half empty. I'm thinking the glass is half full.
I'm usually a glass half full kind of guy, but today I'm going half empty.
I gotcha. Yeah. I understand.
All right, Steve. Well, we do have a Yiddish word of the day.
We do have a Yiddish word of the day. It's called innovation. Innovation. We're going to talk a bit about innovation next week.
That's right.
We're fertilizing the show for next week.
We're spreading the manure.
That's right, all around. And the word is Chiddush. Chiddush.
Chiddush.
It's spelled Chiddush. It's pronounced Chiddush, and it's innovation. From the Hebrew, Chris.
For new. Wait. For innovate? Wait, for what?
Hadash.
Oh, Hadash.
You're
for
the
new.
one. You're the one who told me. You said, "Oh yeah," right away. You said, "Hadash, new."
Well,
I said, "Right."
That's
so
right.
now I'm thinking I should point to you, and you'll come up with it. But last week you did that to me.
I did that to you.
and now I return the favor.
That's right.
Not even wanting to.
All right, innovation means it's a new thing.
That's
and
right.
It's the root word for innovation in Hebrew is hodesh, which means new.
That's right.
So it's a new thing.
Chiddush in Yiddish.
That's right.
Is innovation.
And that's what we're going to talk about
We're
next
going
week.
to talk about it next week.
All
It
right.
has nothing to do with what we were talking about today, unless you think it's innovative to take matzah, put it in some milk or water, and as our friends were singing Matzah Man, it's binding.
Hey, I'll just say this. What was it? Matzah-zanya?
man. Sounds awful.
That sounds Hiddush to me. That's pretty innovative,
That's
okay?
innovative, but I don't know how good it is going down.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll have to find out. Maybe we'll make it sometime and bring it in, okay? Hey, that's like the time, Steve, that we had kosher scrapple, okay? Remember we had that on the podcast?
Yes, I do.
Hey, everybody, be sure to visit us at foiequip.org. There you can register for all the classes coming up that we have for you. And hey, you can also find out ways that you can get involved with the Friends of Israel Gospel Ministry through programs like Bridges, Encounter, Origins, Hesed, and so much more. Be sure to visit us at foiequip.org. Also, just a little reminder, get your free stickers. 424-444. 1948. Text me. I'll send you the link. Bada bing, bada boom. You're set up to go. And you can let us know if you want a pin as well. Hey, we'll see you next week. Thanks for being with us on the Friends of Israel's Jew and Gentile podcast.